I've never been that good with words. Why should I be? Pure, unbridled rage cannot be expressed in simple words. Ares the violent, Ares the bloodstained, Ares the manslaughterer. These names didn't come from giving speeches and exchanging words. They came from taking action, running into the battlefield, not giving even a second to think. Battle is a fundamental aspect of life. When you want something, you take it. You don't wait for life to get better, you do something about it. And the great thing about bloodlust is, it doesn't go away. It's fuel. Fuel for the anger and rage that so many of us want to keep inside. Why use my words when I can just kick your ass? It doesn't matter to me who gets hurt, whose brother has died, which side wins or loses. It's about bloodlust, the rush of war, and all things that come with it. When's the last time people have acted on their impulses, on their rage, on their pure emotions the second that they feel it? But other people don't see it that way. And instead, I'm Ares the underappreciated, Ares the forgotten, Ares the problem child. War is the only thing keeping life in balance. But that doesn't matter, because Father doesn't agree with me. He thinks I should think before I act, like stupid Athena, his favorite. So for once, and just this once, I will use my words. Olympus has gone to shit. It's hardly glorious and praiseworthy anymore. So, I'm leaving. To where? I don't know yet, but it's time for me to start my own kingdom. One where people can finally be free to fight and rage as much as they please, and one where I can finally get the credit and the praise that I rightfully deserve. I'm going to make a kingdom that will be magnificent and unburdened. So, before I leave, I have a message for each and every one of you in Olympus. I've written you all letters, so consider these my parting words as I go on to conquer something much greater and better than Olympus ever was. My first letter is to Poseidon. Poseidon, never liked you, you flagrant foul fish boy. You wait hand and foot for Father, and you're not even ruling Olympus with him. He made you ruler of the seas. What are you even in charge of down there, How wet it is? How much plastic you can count? I want you to know that no matter how long you forced me to work, your son got what he deserved. This next letter is to Hermes. Hermes, you son of a bitch. You're one of the few people I don't dislike on Olympus. You've always been there for me when I've asked for it, and I would do the same for you. Unless I'm in the middle of battle, then I can't come help you. And as much as I don't like bringing up this story, I want to thank you again for getting me out of that ridiculously gigantic jar. I would have gotten myself out, but I still appreciate the help. I was stuck in that same cylindrical hellhole for months, and no one even cared to bat an eye. But you didn't hesitate to come get me, and for that, I am grateful. This next letter is to my favorite pal, Hephaestus. Hephaestus, you are a bitch. But let's put that aside for now, because I do want to ask you a genuine question now that I'm leaving. Hephaestus, do you remember the 500 times I fucked your wife? Woo! I mean, I wouldn't blame her for not being interested. Our own mother didn't even want you. And you may have put us on display for all of Olympus to see, but I have no regrets, and I'd do it again, and I know she would too. Never forget that I fucked your wife. This next letter is for Artemis and Apollo. I'm writing you both one letter because you both look exactly the same to me. Whichever one of you gets this letter first can show it to the other one. Artemis, we would be great in battle together. Not as great as me, but you could manage. Apollo, ever since you beat me only once in wrestling, you've held it over my head. You're not that good, so get over it. Get back to playing your lyre, sunshine bitch. This next letter is for Dionysus. Dionysus? You're not too bad. Keep doing your thing. Aphrodite, before I depart, I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, the tenderness of my soul, and the essence of my words, that you're very fucking hot. But you already know that. You're the only woman I've ever truly loved. And if you ever want to visit me in my new kingdom and have more kids, you let me know. So Demeter, I don't really know what to do. Your daughter's hot. So this next letter is to my dear mother, Hera. Hera, where the fuck were you when I was trapped in a jar for 11 months? Did it not occur to you that your son was missing and that maybe you could do something about it? Or were you too busy punishing another one of Father's one-night stands? You continue to sit in Olympus watching over the mess your husband made. I know I'm not the favorite, but you could at least pretend to care about your children. This next letter is to my favorite sibling, Athena. Fuck you, Athena, you fuck you! You think you're so fucking cool. You think you're the shit just because you're father's favorite. You waste all of this time planning and strategizing and using your wisdom when it comes to war. Okay, just fucking punch someone. Just throw something. Why do you have to ruin everything with your plans and your strategy, you fucking nerd? You are the biggest disappointment I've ever met. And you have so much wasted potential. The Trojans' victory was this close until you had to ruin it, just like you do everything. My next and final letter is to Father. You are unworthy of bearing the title of Father or even King of Olympus. You always go on and on about how I'm the most hated of the gods, the most unloved, the most unworthy, and how I'm a coward. If you felt this way, why didn't you just kill me? Why didn't you do something about it? I was never the coward, it was always you. You were never man enough to fight me in battle. You never cared enough. I can't be surprised. When one has so many illegitimate children, who can keep track of them all? You won't have to worry about me anymore, Father, because I'm leaving. I'm going to build a kingdom far greater than Olympus ever was, and all you'll be able to do is bow down to me and watch in awe, because I'll be a better leader than you ever were.
So, lost souls fit for Hades enter the palaces of the gods. I would be remiss not to entertain the company that I have for the short while you have me, lest that zappy fucker throw me off this mountain again. So let me regale you. It has been a long while since my forge smoldered, bellowing with the clashing of hammers against the bronze that created so much. Creations that could bring about misfortune, protect the mortal, slay the invincible. I myself fashioned the mortal, my flame embedded in your minds and souls. I created it all with care. But now the flames fade, and my forge grows cold. My gift is not remembered. It is tarnished, abused. It is going extinct. As flames ravage your world, you see not the necessity of care in that which is created. You just make and make and make and make. You fill the world with meaninglessness, matter that is used but once and then cast down onto mountains of clutter, mountains that span the depths of Poseidon's domain and edge ever closer near the heights of Olympus. It is like I am once again rejected, once again cast out. I am the father of all who are unwelcome. We are scattered and abandoned like sparks off an anvil. Only the strong find kindling, consume it all, and grow into raging fires. And the very act of exile teaches us lessons that we cherish. Brutality is always beautiful. That was a lesson taught to me by my mother, reinforced by my father when he smote me for trying to defend her. What lessons can be taught at God? I can hear you humans scoffing, like I haven't been laughed at and disdained since my birth. My own betrothed chose some cock-for-brains warmonger over me, over being tied down to me. At least Athena and Hermes think about it before they fuck me over. No, that question should be turned into what lessons cannot be taught to a god. Because I have been taught that every single gift that I give, even my adoration, is looked down upon and trampled. Once, long ago, in an era long forgotten, there was a man, a hero, who sought above all else to be strong. He sought to bend the heavens to his will. Thus, he forsook mankind and climbed the mountain of the gods. Upon completing his journey, the Lord of Lords, Zeus, that bastard-producing bastard, recognized his strength as beyond what a human was capable of. He had the blood of gods in his veins, like many before him. And thus, as a reward for completing such a journey and for such strength, he was given a wish. Anything would be possible. The man thought for 3 days and 3 nights, and the best he could come up with was a sword that can cut through anything. Thus, the task of its construction fell to me. Feeling it worthy of my craft, I put down my hammer and pounded the metal into shape with my bare hands. With my fingernails, I sharpened it to the point where the slightest contact could kill. It took a year for the work to be considered complete. It was an opus among masterpieces. A slice could shave and fashion a new coast. Its unsheathing could slay a forest, and a thrust could pierce through a mountain. It could split the horizon in twain, and the earth would be rendered asunder beneath its ravenous blade. When the hero grasped the weapon for the first time, a white glaze filmed his eyes. Flames leapt from his mouth, for in that moment he knew what it was to be divine. An unending fire, a force that cares for little other than itself. Tears welled and streamed past his pale cheeks as he was silent in his comprehension of immortality. He wept as his mortal form was swept aside by the force of nature that the blade had become. He did not accept the gift. That was when I realized, deep in my psyche, that infinity would be passed from man to object. That our forms, ever mutable, would be transferred and placed within the tools and vessels that I fashioned. And that these objects would multiply and cover the earth. And my art, my craft would fade into minority and eventually obscurity. Even now, every day, my methods of creation are being lost. Master craftsmen age and die and are just replaced with objects, creating more objects. You make and make and make and make, but it is never enough for you! I am never enough for you. Thus, I create not. I reach deep into my bosom, and I grasp at the fire that I command, that gave me the name Vulcan. And I strike at those who seek to pierce the heavens, but are unwilling to comprehend what that takes. I will create an inferno, blazing, and I will reduce that which has forgotten me to cinders. And from the ashes, I will fashion a world anew and bind it in its memory of me. If humanity is to forget that which made it human, the world that surrounded and shaped its sentience, then they are nothing more than objects with no meaning or purpose, and they must be born anew. My forge will once again glow hot. It will smolder and resume its chorus of creation, and I will make and make and make and make.
Hey, welcome. Hermes here. I mean, of course you know that. Wings and shit. Gotta be Hermes. Anywho, messages are lame. Am I known to be a lame god? Dear me, no. No. You know, I'm fun, fast, facetious. I get bored, like, a lot. Time moves differently for me than it does normal people. And on top of that, I'm immortal, so might as well have fun, right? You know I'm the god of thieves and a known trickster god, like that Norse asshole that Marvel made all those movies about, except not blue and don't got the pointy things. Anyways, where was I? Oh, god of thieves. Why the hell am I also the messenger god? Trusting a thief? Really? Like, I knew some of my siblings were dull, but come on, you gotta be an absolute idiot. You know, One time I flew down to Earth and stole this Poseidon fan fiction from some girl in Portland or I don't know. And I left it on Zeus's throne. You should have seen the look on Hera's face. Priceless. Anywho, want to see a magic trick? What am I saying? Of course you do. So. No, terrible angle, okay? Perfect, go ahead. So, playing cards. Actually invented in China during the Tang Dynasty, you know? God of Travelers, pick up a thing or two. And Sharpies. I don't really give a shit who invented them, but great for messages, and Dionysus loves the smell of them. So everything in this universe and like every universe except 3 have vibrations. You know, they make them tangible. And as the super sexy, sleek god of speed, I can manipulate those vibrations like this. It's always harder when you pull out. Zeus would tell you that. Okay, angle 1, punch in on the table. God, what a drama queen. You know, like, I know I like stealing things, but my own attention, a little petty. Anyway, so I got some sticky little fingers, phrasing, boom. But speaking of little fingers, one time when I was a kid, I stole a bunch of Apollo's cattle. I guess you could say we had some beef. Cut. Really? A dad joke? Come on. Just, talk about that Poseidon thing. Okay, only since I decided to, not because you told me to. I am you, so... Anyways, I steal a lot from my siblings. You know, Artemis's arrows, Dionysus's grapes, Zeus's clothes when he got it on with the mortal, Hephaestus's hammer, yada, yada, yada. But my crowning achievement was Poseidon's trident. You know, I went up to him and I said some shit like, oh, Hephaestus wants to upgrade this. And he just gave it to me. So I flew down to Earth and I used that spicy fork to sink his favorite city. Plato went on about it. Something about the lost city of Atlantis, some bullshit like that. Anyways, Zeus found out, as he does, and for a punishment, he sent me down to the underworld to babysit Hades' pet dog. And let me tell you, you don't walk Cerberus. Cerberus walks you. So after a few millennia, broken shoes, tattered back, you know, I decided it was time to get revenge. So I played a game of cards with a Saudi prince. Okay, angle 2, let's get the overhead slant angle. So I went up to that Saudi prince and I showed him I had a deck of cards. I spread through the cards, showing him that they were all mixed up. And then I just had to spread out the cards one more time and show him that they were no longer mixed up. So at this point, he said, I don't want to play cards with you if I know you're cheating. Take off the jacket and roll up your sleeves. So I obeyed this request. I took off my jacket. I rolled up my sleeves. And I grabbed 3 cards. I showed him that I had a black ace. I showed him I had another black ace. And I showed him that I had a red queen. Now the money was in the red queen. I told him, follow that red queen. Follow that. So he saw me slip the red queen to the bottom and he said red queen's on the bottom. And I show him the bottom and it was the black ace. He says, okay, if it's not on the bottom, it has to be on the top. So I showed him black ace. He said, if it's not on the bottom and it's not on the top, it's got to be in the middle. I showed him black ace. By this time, he owed me $250,000 and he was getting angry. So he said, there is no red queen. So I showed him the bottom, red queen. I showed him the top, red queen. And I showed him the middle. Red queen. $500,000. Pretty nice. So he said, you're cheating. You're using more than 3 cards. So I said, 1, 2, 3. $750,000. So I turned to him and I said, all or nothing. $1 million or nothing. If I show you a black ace and I show you a red queen for all the money, $1 million or nothing, what is this card? He said, oh, that's easy. Half of it's a black ace. Half of it's a red queen. I flipped it over, showing a joker. He owed me $1 million. So that's how I won $1 million off of that Saudi prince. But, God don't really need money. So I just gave it back to the prince in exchange for $1 million worth of oil. He gave it to me and I dumped it in the ocean because fuck you, Poseidon. I want that spicy fork. On a separate note, I don't think my parents are doing well. Zeus and stepmommy Hera. I walked in on not one of them, but both of them talking to themselves. And look, I get it. I'm doing the same thing. But it's for comedy, not existential. Introspection is a lazy man's game. Guess that's why I'm not dissociating. I really think Ares had a point when he said Olympus had gone to shit. Not to harsh Dionysus, but whine some weak shit. Don't shoot the messenger. Hades literally has Facundo Bacardi and, Hemingway down there. It's like you woke up in 1924 with no prohibition and fewer call girls than Zeus's Friday night. And, okay, I know my siblings don't go down there much, but it's not that bad, And can Demeter shut the fuck up about Persephone? Hades literally gave her Elysium. That place is green, sunny, beautiful. It makes Olympus look like a goddamn Apple store with large white columns and glass panes everywhere. God. Shit. Would you look at the time? I gotta go be Zeus's ball boy. Yeah. TTFN. Check your pockets. No, seriously. Check your pockets.
Would it be ironic, as the god of the sea, to tell you that I feel like I'm drowning? I don't know how else to describe it.
I'm drowning in guilt of what I did to Demeter. She needed comfort, and instead I gave her trauma. I'm drowning in guilt because of what a terrible father I've been. My kids look at me as a villain, not a hero. I'm drowning in anger because Hermes treats me like a joke. And the worst part is, I deserve it. I'm drowning in jealousy of my golden brother, Zeus. He gets to soar in the sky, feeling no remorse for his actions. I know I'm not perfect, but he's no better. In fact, he's worse. Little does that matter. Nothing I do can stop him. Nothing I do can save me.
The only thing that I feel can save me is love, love, love.
I forgot where I heard this, but it's been resonating with me recently. Went something like this. Smart people will tell you that hate is stronger than love. And you know what? I want to be smart. Fellow brothers, fellow sisters, and all those in between. If you want to prove your might, then just listen to me. This is the last straw. Blame him for your problems. I'm gonna take his crown and watch him drown. All my time here Poseidon. You're no better than your brother. We are gods. Why are you trying to be a hero? This boy! They say I've got a temper and I'm selfish. I don't really give a shit, everyone's a hypocrite. Not the kind of music, but I wrote a hit song just to prove everybody else wrong. It is pretty brutal when you're not the one who's in control. Time for me to take back my soul. Everyone chose to ignore me. Soon they will bow down before me. My lover, she hates me, I hate myself. I don't care, I still blame everyone else. Where are you?
What do you want?
You betrayed me.
Did I? That's a shocker.
So immature. The Olympians need someone better as their king.
Better. You hate the Olympians as much as I do, and treat them like shit. You think you'll earn their respect?
I'm not the one to blame here, Zeus.
Zeus? Is that who you think?
Shut up! You killed countless innocent lives, including your daughter's best friend. You rigged the draw so you could have the sky all to yourself. You made me push away the ones I love. You did this to me!
No, Poseidon. You did this to yourself.
I just drank all my potion. I'm tired of going through the motions. You got me in my emotions. Swimming in the silence oceans.
My brother betrayed me, he stole it all. Olympus predicted Poseidon's downfall.
Today, I watched a young couple share their first kiss. It was in the woods, outside their village. Bit more private that way. It reminded me of you. Young, reckless, carefree, like how love should be. I don't think I've ever met someone who made me feel like you did. Somehow you charmed a goddess to run around with you in the forest. It felt natural being with you. Running alongside you, you were in your element. You wielded a bow like it was an extension of your body. It was beautiful. You were beautiful. I spent days with you, just us. It was like the world fell away. I wasn't just Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. I was just Aphrodite, the person you chose to spend 2/3 of the year with. The person who, if you asked, would give you the world and then some. The goddess who you made feel human, if only for a moment. The goddess who, despite all her efforts, was still too late. I don't think I've ever felt pain like that. Holding you in my arms, watching you fade away, knowing there was nothing I could do, wishing for more time, cursing the fates. How dare they take you away from me? How dare they let you find home in my heart, only to carve you out and leave me to bleed? I would have spent an eternity with you, and I was punished for it, because gods do not get a happy ending. Was it worth it? What a shame it is to never die. But I'm not mortal, and I'll never be human. I'm above them, something to be worshipped. Humans spend their short lives worrying about the wrong things, get a little too confident, though I don't mind showing them exactly where their place is. You know, a human once said I seemed loved, but very alone. I killed her. Humans love inserting themselves in places where they should not be. Though, I guess they learned that from the king himself. Alas, my dear Adonis, seems we have company. We shall continue this conversation another time, my love. And who might you be, my dear? And how have you found your way to my garden of scorned lovers? Perhaps you're one of Apollo's. Apologies, you've caught me a little off guard. I wasn't expecting any new souls to find their way here. But I'm nothing if not a gracious host, so I'll forgive the intrusion. For now. Allow me to slip into something a little more to your liking. Figured you might prefer this more, especially if you're one of Apollo's. He tends to fall hard and fast. I've always admired that about him. Although, maybe you're one of Artemis's finally led astray. Those tend to be my favorite. Nothing quite as satisfying as forbidden love, especially when it ends in tragedy. But no matter. All that matters now is that you belong to me, and I would so love your undivided attention. That's a little more comfortable. See something you like? Well, I would say look, but don't touch, but given your current form, I don't think that'll be much of an issue. See, the thing is, Ares is quite the temper. The jealous type, you know? Doesn't like people touching what's his. Sometimes I like to rile him up just for fun. It always leads to a good time. It's nice, though, that kind of attention. It's a push and pull. A little comment or two, a little bat of the eyelashes. It's an eternal game we play, just us. And I know what you're thinking. But what about Hephaestus? He's your husband. And first of all, did I ask for your opinion? I don't remember granting you permission to speak, and it would be a shame if I had to show you who exactly you are in the presence of. But what about him? Humans are so caught up in staying with someone forever and being faithful. Hephaestus might not have been my first choice, but there's more to it than that. He wanted to keep me for himself, so that he could give me something stable, long-lasting. If I wanted stability, I'd join Artemis in the woods or Athena in her vow of celibacy. Love cannot be contained like that. It does not follow others' rules. Why would I tie myself to someone for the rest of my immortal life? Why would anyone? I want to feel new love time and time again, falling in so deep until the fires of love consume us. A dance that leaves us both breathless and reeling. Artemis and her warriors can swear they don't need love like that, but one by one I've seen them fall. What makes her or them better than anyone else? Why do they get to be happy? Imagine living a life without the passions of desire and the fires of despair. Imagine living a life that monotonous, and then people get overconfident, forget my purpose. Oh, we don't need Aphrodite. She's just pretty. What power is there in beauty? She's just a lonely goddess, only loved when she's needed, cursed to love and lose time and time again. But I know better. And soon, they will too when I send them to Hades. Adonis understood. Ares, well, he understands better than most. Hephaestus never will. I will never let another tie me down and speak for me. I will never be subject to a pathetic mortal fate. I'd rather see them on their knees, worshipping me. Love, my dear, is like a flower. Beautiful, fleeting, and sometimes dangerous. It's like nothing else and the best gift I could give to the world. You know, you are a wonderful listener. Always loved a captive audience. I'm afraid I must go, though. The goddess work is never finished. Shame what happened to you, though. Perhaps if fate had been kinder, I would have gotten to know you a little better. You are beautiful like this, though. Perhaps I'll take some of you with me. What greater honor is there than to be an accessory to thee, Aphrodite? Goodbye for now, my dear mortals. Or, guess that's not quite accurate now, is it? Anyhow, I hope you enjoy your stay in my garden for eternity anyhow, until we meet again.
This morning a man pushed a rock uphill, a steady pace, determined glance ahead. And yet he found a twisted sense of thrill in laboring and envying the dead. Though for his crimes he faced a punishment that Furies, Gorgons, Harpies all would fear, be cursed with torture, ardor, to be spent today as every day, the ending near. Collapse with the relief the job is done, until a force from far past death awakes. A thunderstorm, an avalanche of one lands at the base, a centralized earthquake. He scaled back down the mountain several miles, yet on his face an unrelenting smile. Good morning, Apollo. Good morning, Sisyphus. Do you require aid? Certainly do. My left arm won't bend all the way, which is preventing me from performing to my full potential. If you fixed it, I could get up and back down, say, 30 seconds sooner? Think of the time I could save. All right, Sisyphus, your arm is healed. Be careful upon the steeper inclines. Putting too much pressure on your ankles as opposed to your thighs may be the root of your issue. Already feeling better. Thanks for the heads up. I'll try that today. See you tomorrow. It happened just as I had predicted it. The rock, the mountain, the guy. Personally, I thought his punishment was a little cruel. He wanted to see the sun again, didn't he? That's not a crime to me. And yet, because his punishment felt excessive, I took it upon myself to heal Sisyphus. When the sun lingers toward the skyline for a little too long, Sisyphus's wounds and fractures are undone. As he works into the day, my work is slowly undone. They're humans. They're gone like that. Yet how can one persist this? Human perseverance amidst inhumane odds. Good morning, Apollo. Good morning, Sisyphus. Do you require aid? Certainly do. My left arm won't bend all the way, which is preventing me from performing to my full potential. If you fix it, I could get up and back down, say, 30 seconds sooner? Think of the time I could save. All right, Sisyphus, your arm is healed. Watch out for your back towards the beginning of the inclines. You might want to stretch first. Already feeling better. See you tomorrow. The rules of Hades' punishment are as follows. A. Sisyphus must carry the boulder up the mountain with no brakes. A break is considered the pausing of the movement of the feet for more than 10 seconds. B. When the boulder reaches the top, it will immediately reverse course, crushing Sisyphus in the process. C. Once the boulder has begun its trajectory downward, Sisyphus must immediately begin its descent. Good morning, Apollo. Good morning, Sisyphus. My left arm has been acting up lately. It gets to the point where it doesn't bend all the way, which is costing me time on my ascent up. Hoping you can heal that? All right, Sisyphus, your arm is healed. And watch out for your... Apollo. Nothing. Already feeling better. See you tomorrow. I must address my role in this scene. When I heal Sisyphus, what am I really doing? Am I invigorating him, preparing him for the scorching, sweaty day and the long, cold night ahead of him? Or am I simply prolonging the inevitable? He will continue to smile no matter what, the terror of his futile existence never fully sinking in. I reinforce his laborious joy. My healing is the sole thing keeping his body alive, but is that fair to his mind? Well, are you going to help him or what? Good morning, Apollo. Sisyphus. I greatly appreciate it if you could lend a hand. My left arm won't bend all the way, which limits my movement while... How do you do it? Do what, Apollo? Maintain your grin. Maintain your efforts. Why do you want me to heal you? Your existence is futile. Everything that brings beauty and warmth has been stripped of your routine. Even the sun, an unequivocal source of life and joy, has been exaggerated to the point where it no longer gives, but slowly chips away at yours. No beauty, no prophecy, no meaning. I can't divulge any sort of meaning from the eternity that awaits you. Your song is that of a single string wavering out of tune until it snaps off the neck. When will you snap? I'll give you your prophecy. You shall continue this charade until your body and that rock are eroded to dust. I see your end just as I saw your beginning, yet I will never know why. Why what happens, happens. Why what's coming, comes. My left arm won't extend all the way, which is costing me time in my ascent. I'm hoping you can heal that. Already feeling better. See you tomorrow. This morning, a man pushed a rock uphill, a steady pace, determined glance ahead. And yet he found a twisted sense of thrill in laboring and envying the dead.
Hello. And who might you be? What is it you're searching for? Freedom? Belonging? Sisterhood? You want to just live here, be here, and then dissolve here? Is that it?
Artemis, light-footed maiden, child of great Zeus, blessed.
Artemis, light-footed maiden, child is the great Zeus. Zeus in his almightiness. Stab me in the eye. Enough. That's enough. No one needs to talk about that man more than they already do. Why does a prayer that's about me have to include him? I know. Without him, there would be no me. Blah, 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 blah. Without us, there would be no 12 Olympians. So that motherfucker can go screw himself and his bitch of a wife. Maybe he should think about that the next time he opens his mouth. Come on, Let's go. Come on, we don't have long. Let's go. Get away from me. I don't need your help, any of it. Leave me alone. And what are you staring at? Stop staring at me, asshole. Ugh. Sorry about that. So, what do you want to know? What can I tell you about me that you don't already know? I end up alone at the end of this story. Oh, I know. Flashback. The 10 wishes. What I want is this. 1, my maidenhood forever. 2, to have so many names to set me apart from Apollo. We're not the same person, you know. 3, arrows and a bow fashioned by the Cyclops just for me. I want to be the bringer of light, even in the darkness. 5, fashion me a tunic with an embroidered border so that I may slay all the wild beasts and men that roam this earth. 6, I wish for 60 daughters to be my choir, yet all 9 years old. 7, 20 nymphs as handmaidens to tend to my hounds during my reprise. 8, rule over all of the mountains. 9, assign me to any city, and I will seldom go, except when the women vexed by the sharp pang of childbirth call me to their aid. 10, and I will help them as ordained by the fates, as I did my mother in the hour I was born. This is what I want. What are you looking at, funny man? Staring at me with your judging eyes. Stop staring at me. God forbid I do something for myself, right? I have a twin brother. He's, well, you know, a brother. I love him, but I don't need you to protect me. I literally helped birth you. Get away from me. I don't need you to throw your arrows at someone to save me. I can save myself. Thank you. What? What are you looking for, incentive? What more could you possibly want than this life with us? You want to know how it works? Let me show you. What is your worst fear? The thing you can't imagine happening to you. What could I turn you into that can make up for what you've done to me? Said Brody.
12 dogs, birds, cats, girls.
I know.
Girls.
A girl.
Girls.
I'll turn you into a girl. And then that way, you can know what it truly is to be with me.
Hunt.
You want to blame me? Fine. But I blame you. Because now I have this obsession with escape. In some universe, I get away from you. He wished I loved him the way that he loved me. You know, sometimes I think they all just pretend to like me. Athena, Demeter, Poseidon, Dionysus, Hermes, Hephaestus, Ares. Or they just outright hate me. Like Aphrodite. Thinks of me as a merry band of girls prancing around the forest. But unlike her, I work. She wouldn't know work if it hit her in the face. But they all love Apollo. The golden boy with all the answers to the future. Too many that he has to stop himself from revealing them. Wow, it must be nice to be revered. All I am to them is... Well, never mind. What a tool. What a tool. Motherfucker. I'm running because I can, because I must, because I want to see how far I can go before I have to stop. I sleep. I dream. I hunt. I am who I am. That's the way I like it. I trusted him. Of all people, I trusted him.
Gold and silver pleated chiffon sheets.
I have a riddle for you. Want to try? Let's try. I am a mother, yet I have no children. I am the moon, yet I am also the bringer of light. I am the hunter, yet I am also the hunted. What am I?
It's all about the chase. God, look at her. She's such a prude. Protector of the young, they call her.
I don't need you to protect me, but thank you. Thank you. Together, you and me. Me. You. Us. Athena's not so bad, I guess. We've come to mutual understandings about love, you could say. You know, they say people aren't good for each other. Well, neither are the gods. Maybe in small degrees, 1 or 2, but we are just so wrapped up in our powers that we just destroy things. Where do you think the humans get it from? Anyways, in a sort of roundabout way, that was our pitch. So what do you say? Do you want to come join the fray? Time's almost up. What have you got to lose?
Welcome. Come all to Dionysus's Insanity Theater. A trial name, still a work in progress. I'm your host, obviously, and you all are... Well, let's talk about that, shall we? You're here because it is my birthday! Hades thought it would be just swell if he, shall we say, returned some of the nastier souls from Tartarus so I could have some fun on my special day. It's like when your friends order a stripper to come out of your birthday cake, except I'm the stripper and it's my birthday and I'm performing for you and the only thing you're getting is, break from Cerberus lover. Anyway, sensing a bit of tension in the room. Shall we do an icebreaker? Yes? No? Nah, what the hell, right? Okay. We'll say our names, an animal that starts with the same letter as our first name, and our favorite ice cream flavor. I'll go first. I am Dionysus, dinosaur, and my favorite flavor of ice cream is ube. It's purple, you know? All right. And we will start with you. Your name, an animal, favorite flavor of ice cream. What's the matter? You don't speak Greek? My sincerest apologies. Darlings, please keep in mind that we are on a realm that is, shall we say, somewhat volatile to, mortal kind. Confused? Suppose an example couldn't hurt. Let's see. All right. Now, this here is you. You're all fleshy, filled with mush and organs, and the only thing you've really got to keep you afloat is a tiny frame of little calcium toothpicks. Now, this is Olympus for me. It's temperate, about 65 daily with a high of 72, light winds, and no chance of rain. Now, this is Olympus for you. Imagine an on-fire house with atmospheric pressure, the equivalent to being 10,000 meters down in the Mariana Trench. Hey, Uncle, that is also being hydrogen bombed. Now, if I were to put you in this, just by yourself, well, you get the picture. It's like when you leave a souffle in the oven for too long and it sort of deflates. You're the souffle in the scenario, just so we're clear. But wait, you're here, so how is this possible? That is where I come in. Now, I've expanded my essence to about the area of this room, so as long as you remain within that, you will remain intact. Now, I can only be so generous, so I've limited your abilities, meaning you may respond accordingly with movement, for example, but no talking. So, if you wish to run off and, say, have all your skin peeled off, well, be my guest. But enough chit-chat. Let's begin, shall we? Now, when pondering how best to torture you and complete my task, I thought, what better way to get this rolling than to talk about the most interesting topic there is? Me. Oh, boo, don't give me that. My therapist canceled today, and imagine if you had to deal with your daddy issues for fucking ever. And it wouldn't be much of a birthday if I didn't reminisce on my origins, now would it? Did you know that I was raised as a human until I was adolescent? Of course you didn't. Olympus's best kept secret. Even if I am just as divine as my brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles. Give me a second, the family tree is a circle. Everyone knows there's nothing really praiseworthy about being Zeus's mortal-born bastard. Now, I'm not one to stir the pot, but I'll let you in on a little secret. Zeus sort of cloaked my mother from Hera's detection after she discovered their affair. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You heard that right. Daddy did not air fry Mommy. She did die. Eventually. Just not as, soon and crispy as you might think. It was a prank! For shits and giggles, you know? Yeah, I guess Dad's thought was, why not? I'll give it a try. Maybe it'll get the missus off my back. And it worked. I mean, that is quite embarrassing for Hera, really, if you think about it. I mean, imagine being a goddess of, like, millennia years old and falling for a trick spun by Zeus. I mean, you may be king of the gods, but historically that man has been one bolt short of a light bulb. I mean, really, picture this going down. With Hera, obviously, behind the curtain. Oh, Semele, Zeus, I swear on my honor as a god to do anything you ask. Anything he asks, you say? What if I, Hera, what a scheme, compelled Semele to ask him to reveal his true form, therefore smiting her instantly and effectively removing her from my problems? Like, really? Oh wow. Slimy, conniving Zeus would never guess that the OG jealous bitch would suspect his affair. Look, I know it may seem like I'm picking sides, but there's no hero in this story. Hera should have kept my father on a shorter leash, and Semele shouldn't have been canoodling with a god. Simple as that. But yeah, my auntie, more like mommy. And did I know her? I did know her. Not for a short while, and what can I say? She was mortal. My father had other favorites, of course, his golden children. Starts with an A and rhymes with a shmina. And I don't resent her for it, contrary to popular belief, although I doubt she's too fond of me. Actually, sometimes I get this chilled feeling in my bones and in my stomach that she's the only one of my siblings that might actually understand me. Obviously, my mother never really had a choice about whether or not she could like me. She was lucky enough to raise the funniest, sexiest, brightest, most talented Olympian. Also, I was her only child. I was never the grandest to the gods, but to her, I was her kid, Well, now, you are some of the lucky few who know the true biography to Dionysus. Don't any of you go running off and telling Hera, though. I suppose you can't. None of you can go anywhere. Regardless of whether or not you could, it wouldn't matter. Don't be mistaken, I'm not afraid of Hera anymore. That kitty has claws. Much different from my own mother. Honestly, sometimes I think it's worse that he left her alive. I mean, he tricked the missus into believing she was gone, but saving a human, it doesn't really save them. It just delays them. When Daddy Dearest decided it was time for me to ascend, He made me watch her, wither, and decay. I did ask him once why he saved her. She wasn't yet gone at that point, but she was so worn by time. She wasn't quite all there either. It's funny. All I can remember asking was why her? Why her? Why me? And do you know what the fuck he said to me? You might have been useful to me one day. And was I asked. Were you able to derive any use from me? No, Dionysus, he said. I may be your father, but you're just my bastard. To which I replied, thank you. Shortly after that, a few of his temples were destroyed, and with countless worshippers inside. A random volcanic eruption. No one could have predicted it. I might have let my mother slip through a moment ago, but make no mistake. I will never be subject to a pathetic mortal fate. I'm a god. The only god with a dead mother. Try feeling that loss for eternity. Despite it all, that zappy fucker still cannot stop putting his dick in things. You think he would have been a little more constructive at this point. I mean, if you have a mortal spouse prone to jealous, murderous outbursts, maybe don't cheat? But hey, are you really a father if the consequences of your actions don't traumatize your children at least a little bit? I've always known I had strange hands. My father's are thick and firm, seeming to stem from the very root that holds his being, though silken in texture. My mother's had an air of gentility. The veins visible and sporadic, though slightly toughened. That's all the time we have for today, I'm afraid. I didn't realize this while I was setting up, but these seem to be Zeus's chambers. Have fun, because he won't knock again.
Look at this here line grow long. I know that you're here because you have something you'd like to ask me for. No one comes by just to say hi anymore. Other business is far too important. Demeter this, Demeter that. Make our soil steady and fruits fat. You wish for a plentiful harvest. Delectable sunshine flowing sweet as honey. Vines intertwined, grapes ripened for Dionysus's wine, and all you have to offer me is a basket full of sheep's wool. Or the bloody calf from last year that you begged me for. And Zeus's lightning causes far too much harm, but you're too scared to confront him in fear that he'll ignite your farm. But Hermes is far too quick to stick around long enough, never too quick for Hades, however. But nonetheless, he doesn't pass on your message. So you come before my throne with all the things that you own, thinking that is enough to get your crops to grow. Whether it's clothes from the cotton I carefully crocheted, or metals melted from Hephaestus's blades, when will you realize it's all just ignorable? It's amusing and quite adorable, how the simple pleasures of humans who feel grass and dirt, or sand and sea between their toes to remind them what it's like to feel alive, thinks that the clippings of livestock and basket weaving is worthy of what keeps them satiated and breathing, when the only thing worthy of life is life itself. Instead of engaging with an eye for an eye, dead weeds grimace in soil then dries, bread stalks cheeks as winter arrives, shed salty tears as seasonal depression herself cries. You wonder why winter days disappear into night simply with a blink. Think it strange how long the darkness lingers in the morning.
warning you clearly that this is not a choice being made, weighed in symptoms worthy of diagnosing, engrossing you all in the obsession with survival, revival of waiting for dating and mating, rotating the seasons back to fruitful and warm, art form of mine only celebrated when you're satisfied. Hide then! Plan ahead. Bundle up. Because you can. I wouldn't have even believed Apollo if he himself had said it had to be done. And the heat of my hatred for Hades hollows out the earth's own molten core. My heart holds in the hot until only Athena herself can end these flames of war, making sure I don't melt away into magma myself. My eyes open to see Persephone placed in front of me. So the numbness thaws and my shrill screams shatter and frozen streams melt into tears. And April showers bring about May flowers. So there really isn't much that I would accept or collect from what you have to offer. Because when I get what I really want, life is already flourishing. Spring sends salutations and sweet suckles of safety and shrubbery shout bloom. But the flowers that I've sown and soothed to blossom and grow are no longer picked and arranged in bright bouquets, brought home to fulfill the need of that empty vase. Instead, they are uprooted and paved by those whose job it is to make sure that beauty is only perceived through the eyes and days of the male gaze, and any denial of that praise, whether whenever it is desired, ruins their right to always be right, despite their definition of beautiful being something they only say to get closer to the vulnerable. And it's not even the flowers of daisies or roses that we once plucked the petals of in hopes of Aphrodite answering our tarot love reading. It's the one they can't see. Intrigued by the invisibility of uterine fertility, craving the control of conception, cold, crisp, crackling calls, wind whirling withstands wanting, winter withstands wishes as weeds waste away. Shocking shivers shake spines as snow sails softly landing, barren breezes, barren bogs, barren brooks, frozen over for what feels like forever. Demanding days deny, devastation, barren bodies, barren breasts, barren beds, only source of warmth, fire fueled by my fury, heat so hot it's deafening, presenting me free to unfreeze when all I plead. Please bring me back my Persephone. Persephone. Bring me back my Persephone! No matter how hard I try to keep summer alive, fall slowly calls, fueling my fleeting feelings, leading to my absorption of all things angry as I remember burning betrayal. That's why there's nothing left to keep you all warm anymore. Try as they might to sign away another's life, write in laws sent by their God, they forget who it is who makes things grow. Who sows the seeds, allowing the roots to grow. Asking Apollo to supply his sunshine, followed by my request for Poseidon to provide precipitation. The control they crave they could never have. There's a reason why they call her Mother Nature, after all.
Hate is a lot stronger than love. Most smart people will tell you that. You think you know everything. You do. You know it all. People think they can tell you what to do. You sit, you ponder, you react. Reaction is nothing but a cosmic joke. And the moment you let them in, and the moment you let them see the vulnerability, you've lost. Isn't that sad? Why didn't he want us? Dry your tears, child. We are beautiful. Prettier than Leto, Demeter, Artemis, Aphrodite even. Nothing they have amounts to what we have. Smarts, intelligence, beauty, sacrifice. Why do you cry over a man? Why do you let him feel as though he has his power over you? Dreams do lead your heart to go weak. They do. Haven't we learned nothing? I'm sorry, have I gotten ahead of myself? Get out of my head. Get out of my head. Whatever you are feeling in your weak, pathetic mind, you feel them deep down. Like you always have. Like you always shall. You breathe miracles into this world, and you topple kingdoms at the mere mention of insanity. Get out! What's the problem with insanity? The more insane you are, the smarter you are. Is that not right? Suck it up. I better not see you cry. Otherwise, we'll have a problem. Oh, yes, we will. Why the fuck do you cry over a man? And you are this close to a life with leaving that inconsolable pain behind. A man who can't even keep it in his own pants. A man who can't even keep it in his own dynasty. He would rather breed bastards with them than heroes with you. So why don't you do the same? Breed bastards of inconsolence, of insanity, of murder, without leaving your precious palace. Those bitches got what they deserved. Isn't it funny what a tear can do? Tears start rainstorms. Rainstorms start hurricanes. Well, since it's just the two of us here, I'm gonna let you in on a little lesson. A lesson we've taught our husbands' whores, our lovers, our children, and all those worthless, pathetic mortals that whisper at our branded feet. Brutality is beautiful. No one gives a fuck what you have to say. The sooner you learn that, the better off we all are. The better off we are without all that whining. This what it's all for? Does it make you feel better? What is it? The jewels, the power? What is it? Because why not? So you could sit in your fancy palace and you could feel all the feelings that you feel? You know what? Why don't you take all of that you're feeling, all the heartache, betrayal, everything, and actually make something of yourself? Why don't you take in the pain, blood, sweat, and tears your son did to make you that crown? Why don't you crush the skull of the man who thought that would be enough to make up for everything? And why don't you drink your children's blood and immortality, and it makes you feel as though nothing they have been through is anything you have been through? Their father is just their father. He only cares about his damn legacy. He doesn't even care about the womb that freaking gave him those legacies. I should go. Please. Tell me what I have to do to get him to stay. I think you already know the answer to that. Anyway, I'm just in your head. I can't make anything happen out there. But what I can do is tell you to get off your ass and make something happen. I think pain is the best way for people to see who you really are. And fake pain's even better, because you don't have to feel it. Now, before you do go, just tell me what you think. Please. I can't be without you. I can't function. I can't breathe. I can't. All I've ever needed was your love. I think you'll make a slave out of God sooner than you think.
It's been years. So many years. When I close my eyes, I still see her. My friend. My brave, brave friend. The things that we could have done if we had more time. Now all I have is time. The things that we could have done if you hadn't taken her from me. I blame you. You know Triton wanted us both to be great. While you were off on Earth, he took care of me. And what were you doing? Fucking humans? Making them fall in love with you and breaking them? Sounds about right. She was my friend. Why couldn't you have just let her win, Father? For once, why couldn't you have been honorable and given the humans a victory? They just needed to win something. Father, what I'm about to tell you, I have thought about for years. I no longer wish to be immortal. I wish to be free. When I close my eyes, I see her standing before me. She's swinging her spear, planted firmly. She was always planted firmly. She's winning. And I'm stumbling, just trying to find my foot. When I do, I take a cheap shot at center mass. She should be able to dodge it. But she doesn't move. Move. Palace. Move. Move. And then she moves. My eyes meet hers, and she winces, and she looks down, and I see that we are attached by opposite ends of my spear. She takes my hand and she tells me it's going to be okay. She's all right. And I watch as she fades away. I wish that I could have faded with her. That together we could walk hand in hand through the afterlife. But I'm stuck here with you. What a shame to never die.
Everyone's always got something to say. Why did you fuck her? Why did you kill him? Why did you punish me? Why didn't you punish him? Why did you fuck her? Why did you ignite the earth? Why did you trust him? Why couldn't you save her? Why couldn't you just let her win? Why did you fuck her? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? Why her? Why me? Why did you fuck her? Why did you fuck him? Why? Blah, 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 blah. I'm busy enough as it is. But everyone's always got something to say. And why do you think that is? Why do you think it is? That everyone's always got something to say. A complex? Really? Gods and humans are all the same. Humans think they should be gods. Gods think they should be me. The threads of the fates tied my hands. It's not like I chose this. Kronos was meant to be slain at the hands of his child. 5 of my siblings couldn't kick their way out of his stomach from the inside. It was always going to be me. And now I'm king of the gods. And everyone's always got something to say. Nothing is ever good enough. And God forbid I do something for myself. They just give you impossible standards to live up to, don't they? But what if sometimes you're just imperfect? Isn't that a thought? Isn't it? Give me one example. Just one. You refuse to give the humans fire. Please. It's sacred. It wasn't meant for them. Prometheus was the one who made them prosper. Not you. And now he sits chained and suffering because you were too proud and selfish to admit that you were wrong. Shut up. That's what you can't stand, isn't it? thought that you might be wrong. I'm the god of justice. I know when I'm wrong. Then how can you continue to treat your wife the way that you do? You really gonna go there? The unfaithfulness? The deceit? The force? She's the queen of the gods. She's got everything she could ever want. I don't understand what all the fuss is about. What about the others, then? The ones you break. Being loved by a god is the greatest honor anyone could have. And on top of that, what? I give them gods and heroes for children. Do you even remember any of their names? They're humans. They're gone like that. They're not all humans. Face it, you wouldn't remember Hera's name if she wasn't your wife. But you do remember your sons. Those gods and heroes. Perseus, Heracles. Your boy Dionysus, how do you think he would feel if he knew you didn't remember his mother's name? She was a human. And we hid her, saved her, cursed her with a long life, and then took away her only child so he could stay young as she withered away. And you do not remember her name. You have only ever concerned yourself with your legacy and your heirs, your boys, those heroic men who will leave a mark on earth in your name. And the thing is, it never really works out well for our mortal children, does it? Madness, murder, you name it. And just look what you've done to the children who live on high. You mean the gods? The Olympians, the ones who have it all. Have it all. The one who stitched your bloody, broken body back together in a cold, wet cave. Who you never thanked. Who you call your ball boy. The one who you kidnapped and made like you, who was forced to watch his mother die, who you call your bastard? The already estranged craftsman who you abused for trying to protect his mother from you? The tormented poet with all of that wasted potential? You know, if you hadn't constantly told him that, maybe he wouldn't be sitting in hell right now, tending to the man who defied you. The one who you gave everything she asked for, and yet, for some reason, she still ran away. The most hated of all the gods. And Athena, you know what you did to her. She's still young. She doesn't understand. Understand what? No one was supposed to die, and now your daughter's hands are dripping red with the blood of her dearest friend. And for what? For honor? Whose? And it's not just about your children, is it? You did nothing when Hades stole Persephone away, and you wouldn't have changed your tune if Demeter hadn't tried to tear the earth apart to get to her. And how about that random draw for the realms? They all know. It's funny, you say this was forced upon you, yet you took the greatest power for yourself. Poseidon will never forgive you. Your children abhor you. Your family can't stand to look you in the eye. And you really think you don't deserve it? You have fucked and fucked over countless beings with no remorse. The gods, humanity itself. What's your goal here? To just shit on me, to throw the ungratefulness of the universe in my face? Ungratefulness? I need you to see our failure. Failure? Do you know why humanity is so unhappy? Do you know why the gods are so unhappy? Do you know why we are so unhappy? Because this is the world you created. Enough, no one gives a fuck what you have to say. You are the god of justice. And yet on Earth, criminals in power walk free. You oversee fair trade, and yet the wealthy only get richer, stealing from the impoverished. Sound familiar? They take what they want because they think they deserve it, and you let them because you have lived out eternity in this same way, putting yourself before everything, even your own creation. The universe isn't ungrateful. It is suffering. Look at what you did. Shut up. You were shocked when Poseidon rose up against you, and you were horrified when the humans stopped praying. Maybe their standards aren't so impossible. Maybe the problem is just you. I said shut up! I'm the king of the gods. Nothing would be nothing if it wasn't for me. Hera and Poseidon and Demeter and Hestia and Hades would still be sitting in our father's guts if it wasn't for me. Hermes and Dionysus and Hephaestus and Ares and Apollo and Artemis and Athena wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for me. And Aphrodite wouldn't be an Olympian if it wasn't for me, because without me, there is no Olympus. I'm the king of the gods. And if I'm the king of the gods, I'm the king of everything. I'm the king of the sky, of the sun and moon. I'm the king of the land. I'm the king of the sea and of every single fucking thing that lives in it. I'm the king of war. I'm the king of wisdom. I'm the king of love and beauty and insanity. I'm the king of poetry. I'm the king of thieves. I'm the king of the hunt. I'm the king of children. I'm the king of you. Look at you. I created you. I breathed life into you. My majesty lives in your lungs. I gave you everything. And I can take it all away. You're grateful, aren't you? Why the fuck aren't they? I'm the king of the gods. I'm the king of the gods. They should worship me. I'm the king of the gods. They should thank me. I'm the king of the gods. They should love me. I'm the king of the gods.
They should love me. They should love me. I'm the king of the gods. They should love me. I'm the king of the gods. They should love me. They should love me. They should love me. They should love me. I'm the king of the gods. They should love me. They should love me. They should love me.
Say